when 72-year-old Thomas Bennett, the founder of a multi-million-dollar construction empire in Denver, was told by his doctor that his family only saw him as a walking wallet, something inside him broke. But instead of confronting them, Thomas made a quiet, ruthless decision. He would fake a terminal illness and watch in silence as the people closest to him revealed who they truly were. What he discovered would shatter his heart and change the future of his legacy forever. Thomas Bennett had built an empire from scratch. From laying foundation blocks in his 20s to becoming Denver's most respected real estate developer in his 60s, he was a man of grit, vision, and undeniable willpower. But now, in his 70s, what scared him most wasn't death. It was dying surrounded by people who only pretended to love him. He had 4 children: Ryan, the calculating eldest who believed he deserved the throne; Derek, smooth-talking and dangerously charming; Natalie, obsessed with image and social media; and Emily, the youngest, quiet, gentle, often overlooked. After his wife's death 5 years ago, Thomas remarried Vanessa, a glamorous woman 20 years younger who loved jewelry more than she loved bedtime conversations. One day, after a visit from his trusted doctor, Dr. Lena Morales, he asked her a question. "Lena, in your honest opinion, do they love me? Or are they just waiting for the inheritance?" Lena paused. Then she said what no doctor usually dares to say. "Thomas, it's time to find out." And so the plan was born. A fake diagnosis. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 6 months to live. He informed his lawyer, Richard Grant, who quietly transferred half of Thomas's assets into an untraceable trust. Then Thomas disappeared from the boardroom and retreated to his master suite, coughing, looking pale, and refusing food. Emily became his nurse. The rest became vultures. The news of his illness spread through the family like wildfire. At first, everyone played their part. Vanessa cried crocodile tears and organized prayer meetings. Natalie posted about cherishing every moment with Dad while flaunting designer bags bought with his credit card. Derek asked for an advance on his inheritance. Ryan, meanwhile, got busy behind the scenes. He called an emergency board meeting and stepped in as interim CEO of Bennett Construction. "We need leadership," he told the board. "My father is a hero, but it's time to look ahead." Within weeks, he fired longtime employees, people who had worked for Thomas for decades, and replaced them with his college buddies. Lavish dinners, exotic retreats, and a rebrand of the company followed. He opened a luxury clothing line under the Bennett name, one that failed spectacularly within a month. Derek tried his own hustle. He secretly sold one of Thomas's prized lakeside villas to fund his online crypto startup. Natalie began negotiating to sell off parcels of family land for an eco-resort collaboration with her influencer friends. Only Emily remained by her father's side. She spoon-fed him broth, cleaned his room, played his favorite jazz records, and prayed beside him at night. "You're not alone, Dad," she whispered every time she tucked him in. What none of them knew was that Thomas had hidden cameras in his bedroom. Every whispered conversation, every phone call made just outside his door, every careless remark about his upcoming death, all of it was recorded. Vanessa, his wife of 10 years, stopped entering the master suite altogether. "It smells like death in there," she said to Emily one morning. "He's just fading. I can't watch it anymore." But she wasn't just avoiding Thomas. She was distracting herself. At a luxury spa in Aspen, she met Ben, a handsome, muscular 32-year-old who worked as a massage therapist. Within weeks, they were secretly meeting at hotels around the city. He called her Queen V. She bought him a Rolex. Then one afternoon, Vanessa made a shocking move. She brought Ben home. "Meet Ben, our new personal driver," she announced to the family, her manicured hand resting too comfortably on his arm. Emily's eyes widened. David scoffed. Natalie giggled. Ryan didn't even look up from his tablet. But Emily was suspicious. That night, unable to sleep, she followed the sound of soft laughter out to the guest house. She opened the door and froze. There, half-dressed, were Vanessa and Ben in each other's arms. Emily shouted. Vanessa scrambled to cover herself. "Emily, it's not what it looks like." "It's exactly what it looks like," Emily cried. "Dad is still alive, and this is what you do." "I'm lonely," Vanessa shouted. "He's not the man he used to be." Emily didn't respond. She turned and ran back to her father's room, heartbroken. She sat beside him, holding his hand. "Maybe we should go back to Willow Creek," she whispered. "Where you grew up. Where people actually care." Thomas didn't answer. but a tear slid down his cheek. Emily secretly arranged for a private ambulance and took her father back to the small town of Willow Creek, where he was born. Within days, news spread across the community. Thomas Bennett is back, and he's dying. But this time, everything was different. Old neighbors showed up with homemade food. Former employees visited with prayer and warm hugs. Elders from the community gathered nightly to sit on the porch with Thomas and reminisce. An herbalist offered natural remedies and comforting wisdom. Emily saw something she hadn't seen in years. Her father smiled. One night, beneath the stars, Thomas finally told her the truth. I was never dying, he said. I had to know who would stay with me when I had nothing left. Emily was stunned. All this time? The cancer? The weakness? Thomas nodded. I saw all of it. I know who betrayed me. I know who stood by me. And I know now who deserves everything I've built. Back in Denver, the family was falling apart. The company was in debt. Ryan was under fire. Derek's crypto dream had crumbled. Natalie was being sued over a failed influencer deal. Vanessa was no longer hiding her affair. She was flaunting it. They were too distracted to notice the storm that was coming. 1 week later, a sleek black car rolled into the Bennett estate. The security guards jumped to their feet as the back door opened, and Thomas Bennett stepped out. Not weak, not coughing, not dying. Strong, calm, alive. Vanessa dropped her wine glass. Natalie screamed. Ryan stumbled backward into a chair. Derek cursed under his breath. Behind Thomas, Emily stepped out, holding a brown folder. The family gathered in the living room, eyes wide, hearts racing. Thomas stood before them like a resurrected lion. I was never dying, he said simply, but my patience was. Then he laid it bare. I watched everything you did, heard everything you said. While I lay in that bed, each of you revealed your truth. And now it's time for mine. He turned to Ryan. You destroyed my company. You fired the men and women who built it. You turned my name into a joke. You are no longer welcome in my business. Ryan tried to speak. Thomas raised his hand. Don't. You've already said enough. He turned to Derek. You sold my villa to gamble on fantasies. That property was going to be your legacy, but you sold it with your own hands. You have nothing left from me. Natalie stepped forward. Dad, Stop, he said. You tried to sell off our family land for clout and cocktails. You embarrassed our name. Until you prove yourself with real work, you get nothing. Finally, he turned to Vanessa. You, who vowed to love me in sickness and in health, slept with a stranger under my roof while I was faking my death. Pack your things. You're leaving this house tonight. Vanessa dropped to her knees, crying. Please, Thomas. He pointed to the door. Security escorted her out. Then, Thomas turned to Emily. You stood by me. You believed in me. You loved me when everyone else loved only what I could give them. From this day forward, you are the sole heir to the Bennett legacy. The company, the properties, the trust, everything. Emily's lips trembled. Dad. He smiled. You earned it. 1 year later, Bennett Construction was thriving under Emily's leadership. She rehired the old staff, restored the brand's reputation, and opened new branches across Colorado. Her siblings? They were learning, slowly, what it meant to work for what they wanted. Thomas, now retired, spent his days gardening, playing chess with old friends, and watching his daughter shine. Because in the end, he didn't need a miracle to heal his heart. He just needed the truth.